2027? You know, this party is not about power. This party is about the welfare of Nigerians. And I can tell you categorically, I told you that before I get into an association or a political party, I take my time. When I left my last political party, it was more than 1 year ago, and I made it clear I wasn't going into APC or PDP. If there is no new arrangement that I'm sure will take care of the welfare of Nigerians, I will stay in my house and pray, because that's the only reason I came into politics. And as God will have it, meaning that God has really heard the prayers of Nigerians. You can see the amalgamation of all political bigwigs from every political party. This is the dawn of a new era in the political history of Nigeria. Let me tell you, ADC, not only that they are mounting it, it is in their constitution. Article 3 that talked about the motto of ADC tells you that their motto is in pursuit of the welfare of our people and the nation. And when you hear arise and shine Nigeria, you and I know that this is the time for Nigeria to arise. We have been in darkness of this incompetent and corrupt APC, and this party that is going to be our light will shine the light in this darkness, and darkness will not comprehend it. APC will not understand what hits them, because when you shine light in darkness, darkness disappears. So this is the party of the light for Nigerians, and we are going to shine that light, and Nigerians will find their way. In the ADC constitution, one of the objectives to create the favorable environment for every Nigerian to contribute to the welfare, peace and prosperity of this country. We are in a good place, and I've always said it. In 2027, it is the people of Nigeria versus APC. ADC is simply the platform for the people of Nigeria to choose alternative good leaders, so that this 419 party called APC should be consigned to history.
Okay, you know that a lot of members from the All Progressive Congress, they are also in this very coalition, and that of the PDP. For 16 years of the PDP and that of the APC, which is ongoing, we've not actually seen that development. What makes you think that this coalition will bring the change that Nigeria needs?
You know, leadership evolves, and I've always said that your best teacher is your last mistake. People in PDP, people in APC that have been in government, they have seen that whenever they are doing anything wrong, it will come back to them. All the people that have been in power in Nigeria and did not do what they ought to do as at that time, they are reaping it, because we have seen a government that does not respect the fundamental human rights of Nigerians, that when you vote, you're not even sure that your votes will count. So this is a lesson for every one of them now in this new coalition, where we are going to make discipline as our first order in this party, to follow the rules of the party, follow the example of rule of law and democratic tenets, and give Nigerians security and welfare. So they've learned their lessons, and I know, as one of the leaders here, he said the only reason I'm in this coalition is to remove the evil that I put on this nation. So I'm glad that they are understanding that if evil is upon the nation, it consumes everybody. And let all of us hold hands in Nigeria and remove this evil that has come.
Will you be willing to work with Peter Obi, the principal in Labour Party at that time, which you said that he didn't do the needful in Labour Party that made you lead his camp? So if he comes to become the presidential candidate in this coalition, in this new party, in this new era, will you be willing to work for him?
I told you very clearly, this is now the time of the coalition, not individual parties. And I can guarantee you that anybody that emerges from this coalition, I will work with the person. I said it before, and I'm saying it again. And I'm glad that everybody is in this coalition, because I made it clear that without the coalition of the opposition parties, we are wasting our time. You don't go to compete with an incumbent, each person running alone. It doesn't make sense. So whoever emerges from this coalition in a free and fair presidential primary election, I will work for. It's as simple as that.
What makes you think that the ADC is safe than any other party in Nigeria? Because we also have some litigations trying to crop up. Don't you think that the ruling or progressive cannot break into ADC?
You know, I've always said any party that allows itself to be broken into, it is their fault. But I can tell you there's no litigation that is pending against ADC, because we did our due diligence. But that does not mean that APC will not try to infiltrate. Of course, when you are in a battle with somebody, you send your own spies. And that is why we must make sure that we do not allow them to infiltrate us. We will search out any infiltrator and give him the treatment that is given to spies. The consequence. When you catch a spy, you know what they do to spies. So APC will try, but they will fail, because consistently APC has been making mistakes. Every decision they have taken has always been a harbinger of disaster for them. You know, Shetima, you know what happened in Northeast? I told people that the APC will implode. Ganduje was sacked. And then maybe he's in hiding now, because I've not heard about him. So before long, APC people will be in hiding, because the shame that will come upon them, they will not even be able to talk and speak to Nigerians again.
There seems to be an anthem. There seems to be an anthem that perhaps will now pervade the political scene in the coming days. And it was quite interesting, and that has gone viral though. But let's speak to what really happened today. The spokesperson of the political coalition movement is a former Minister of Youth, Mr. Bolaji Abdullah, is live for us here in Abuja. So it's a pleasure having you tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So you're not a member of the PDP, you're now a member of the ADC.
No, I left PDP October last year.
So you've been partyless?
Yeah, more
all along?
Yeah.
But now today, officially, all of you have now joined the ADC.
The ADC, yes. The African Democratic.
And I saw Chief John Oyegun. I saw Peter Obi.
Yeah.
I saw
former
Nasiru El-Rufai, Rotimi Amechi, a long list. I mean, if you look at those who are in the APC today, if you look to your left, everybody that is who is who in Nigeria's politics, largely in the opposition, are in that room today.
That's why it's a coalition. That's why it's a coalition.
But they literally have emptied the PDP into that.
Yeah, I mean, because you see, what happened to PDP is quite unfortunate. You know, one of the strongest parties that Nigeria has ever experienced since 1960 was the People's Democratic Party. But due to a cumulative combination of different factors, internal self-sabotage, and of course the latter-day machinations that we are seeing, the party appeared to have. So it got to a point that majority of the who is who, the real people who have built the party, who have run with the party, felt that this is no longer viable, that this vehicle is no longer viable. You know, I mean, if you look at the coalition today, different people have different reasons for coming into the coalition. I mean, coming from their own party. But what's most important is that we are united to build a formidable opposition party, regardless of which was your party. That's why you see people from APC, you see people from PDP, you see people from SDP, and of course, Labour Party. You know, so at the end of the day, what has happened is that all of us have agreed to come together to form one strong, united opposition party.
Well, there are those who, I know I've been seeing the reaction. It looks like a combination or an assemblage of aggrieved and angry politicians from the other political parties.
Well, I'm not angry.
But you left
one, I'm not. Yeah,
you left the PDP.
It's not because I'm angry. I left.
But you were frustrated by the PDP.
No, I'm not saying I'm frustrated. I don't have any frustration, right? I just felt that I don't like this anymore, right? And there are so many people, right, who can tell you that they have one reason or the other for leaving their party. I mean, you look at Peter Obi, you say, oh, he's frustrated. Amechi is frustrated. Ralph is frustrated. This must be a country of really frustrated people. If you have a room full of this caliber of people, and the only word you can use to describe them is that they are frustrated, aggrieved, that they are aggrieved, then something is terribly wrong somewhere. But look, I don't think they are doing this because they are aggrieved. Right? When I look around me and I see a Chief John Odige Oyego, an 86-year-old man, right, coming out to be part of this openly, right, and you tell me he's doing that because he's aggrieved? No. You see, the fundamental principle, if PDP had survived, right, if it didn't get to this pass that it is currently, that's between life and death or closer to death than to life, right, this would probably not have happened. If the APC's internal democratic system was functioning the way it was designed to function, right, because I know, I was part of that, then this would probably not have happened. But we are confronted with the situation today that if you are not in APC, then you cannot be in any other political party, because we are gradually tending towards a one-party state where no political opposition party is allowed to survive. Okay, look at what's happening now, right? In the last 18 months, we've been on this issue of coalition, right? I'm sure you've been hearing about ADC for a very long time. Not yesterday, not last month, not 2 months ago, right? The gentleman you brought here, where is he coming from? Where did he drop from Mars? Is he just hearing that we are going to ADC? Why didn't he come here 3 months ago? Why didn't he come here 4 months ago, right? When we started, the government said, dead on arrival. It's not going to work. Oh, they will fight themselves. It's all about ambition. But before their very eyes, the coalition has happened. Then suddenly, this kind of people are crawling out of their dark corners to start saying,
Dear ADC family and fellow Nigerians, it's with the greatest amusement that I watch the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar-led group announce their takeover of the national leadership of the African Democratic Congress. As is expected, I have been inundated with a lot of calls and messages seeking my reaction to the unfolding dramedy. The facts of the matter are as follows. The Atiku-led group are in some form of alliance with the former leadership of the party led by Ralph Nwosu. The tenure of the Nwosu-led executive lapsed on August 21st, 2022, and his continued parade of himself as the chairman of the party was and is the subject of various litigations in different courts across the country. From the foregoing, I want to then pose the following questions. Can you build something on nothing? Can you shave a man's hair in his absence? Can you enter a man's house through the back door and declare yourself the landlord? These yesterday's men who represent a bad chapter in Nigeria's past have bought bad markets from a man who represents a bad chapter in ADC's past. Nigerians have watched in amazement as this group of mostly geriatrics shopped around for a party to prosecute their chopping must continue ambition. This further cements the opinion most hold that political parties in Nigeria stand for nothing and will fall for anything. They have told us that they are fighting for the rights of ordinary Nigerians and that they are on a rescue mission. But what is confusing to the Nigerians they want to rescue is that these men, made up of a former vice president, former governors, ministers, and political office holders, are the same people who have presided over the affairs of this nation for the past 4 decades. We have absolutely nothing to show for their decades of leadership other than being seen as a nation divided by tribe and religion and thriving in mediocrity.
I feel like
we are a nation lacking the basics, whose majority are poor. But here we are watching those who set our nation on fire, saying they are the fire brigade.
So if this
no, you're not. You are a bunch of greedy and selfish old men who believe that political power is your birthright. You stand for nothing other than your interest and will pay any price to hold political office.
If you are not even sure,
Nigerians are tired of your generation and reject everything you have to offer, which is nothing. Nigerians yearn for new names, new faces, fresh ideas, and progressive ideals. We yearn for a new Nigeria that thrives on meritocracy and de-emphasizes tribe and religion. We dream of a nation that works for all Nigerians, irrespective of region or religion. We want a nation whose laws and opportunities are equal to all men. We desire inclusiveness for all and social protections for the weak amongst us. Nigerians have never asked for much other than a leadership that truly cares. You have failed us and stand rejected by us. If you seek to be a part of the ADC, do the proper thing and come through the front door. We are a party of decent and well-behaved people. Our brand of opposition is one that not only opposes but proposes, something your group is not conversant with. I strongly suspect that you will be shopping for another party very soon, and as you do that, we, the members of the African Democratic Congress, wish you bon voyage.
PDP presents the best structure for mounting a serious opposition against the APC in theory. But the problem with PDP is that it's neither a ruling party, obviously, nor an opposition party. That's the problem. Neither nor. Now, when PDP lost in 2015, I had conversations with the leaders, and I advised that.
So neither nor, when it should be
yes,
either or.
Either or. That's the problem. So it's neither a ruling party, even though it pretends to be. I mean, look at its acting chairman, Damago, is as much as possible a member of the ruling state because he has his people in the government. The Minister of FCT said that when he was invited, smartly, he's a smart guy, he wrote to them to say, I want to join this group. They said, join. And I can tell you that I feel strongly and I know that he has helped many of them into government. They have nominated people, they have got this.
There are confessions everywhere. Testaments to that.
Yeah. Absolutely. So they have embedded themselves. They kind of lost election gleefully, happily, and instead of mourning and anger, they just happily swamped into Tinubu's government. And Tinubu, when they say Tinubu is a strategist, Tinubu is a master strategist. The strategy is very simple: corruption, seduction. That's what it is. He happily gets it in the big Nigerian states for patronage, and everybody's sharing, eating, and happy. Now, they can't play opposition until they reinvent themselves. That's number one. Number two is that, so when I tell them 2015, I said before the primary start, primary is where people get trapped in conflicts and self-destruction. Start build a party in opposition. That's an advantage. So by the time it gets to election time, when the articles of this world, the Sarakis, everybody start emerging from the woodwork, you have a party that can withstand this flurry of activities. They didn't do that. It seems to me that it was a predictable surprise that they will go into these routes based on how they managed 2015. And of course, if you put Jonathan voted away, Ken Naman voted away. So it has been a serious destruction of that party because of the lack of ideological and moral courage in its leadership.